Hi, this is Ashlyn with Ashlyn Mae Photography, and I'm going to show you how to use the Autumn Blur brush-on backgrounds. The first thing you're going to want to do is to isolate your subject so that you can place the brush-on background behind your subject. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new layer by clicking Command or Control J. Now we're going to go up to Select and Subject. And Photoshop is going to do the work for you to select your subject. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is add a layer mask to the subject. And to do that, I'm going to go down here and click on the layer mask icon. And now we have the subject cut out and ready for us to place the Autumn Blur background. So to place it, I'm going to first select my background layer so that we'll have the Autumn Blur background right in between these layers. So let's go ahead and place our background. To do that, we're going to go to File, Place Embedded, or it might just say Place, depending on your version of Photoshop. So when you're trying to choose your background, you really want to keep in mind your subject and the type of depth of field that it kind of already has so that the background that you choose makes sense to the eye and it doesn't look strange. For this image, I'm going to go ahead and choose that background and click Place. Then what you can do is either leave it as is or you can drag it around and kind of place it where you want it. I'm going to kind of put it back where it was. All right. When you're ready to place it, click this little check mark and it's ready to go. All right, now we're going to hide this background layer with a layer mask. So go to Layer, Layer Mask, and then select Hide All. This allows us to brush it on in the spots that we'd like to brush it on so that we can control the placement. And to do that, you're going to select a brush and make sure that the hardness is all the way down so it's nice and soft. You want it pretty big. And then you're going to make sure that your opacity and flow are at 100. And then let's just make sure that your layer mask is selected, and you'll know it's selected if it has the white box around it. And then now we're just going to brush on that background. Okay, and now as we get closer to the grass at the bottom, we want to blend it nicely. So I'm going to lower my flow to around 10-ish, 10 to 12, and just slowly kind of work the edges into the grass. Okay, now for some of you, this is all that you need to do. It's super simple, very easy. But in this image, as you can notice, her hair, the way that it was selected, is kind of dark on the edges and it looks strange. So I just want to give you a little tip for those of you that have flyaways that end up like this on your image. We're going to go ahead and fix that. And to do that, select the subject layer. And then we're going to create a new layer, a new blank layer. So you can either do that by going to Layer, New Layer, or go down here and just select the plus button and it'll create a new layer. Now we only want what we're going to brush on to affect her and her hair. So we're going to do a clipping mask so that anything done on this layer will only affect this layer and nothing below. So to do that, you can right click and select Create Clipping Mask. All right, now we're going to grab our paintbrush again and we're going to make it a little bit smaller, keep it nice and soft. Okay, so now you're just going to use the dropper tool, and you can do that by hovering over it and clicking Option. And you're going to select kind of the brightest color on your subject's hair. And then just slowly start brushing along the edges and bringing out those little flyaways. So you can see it's already looking better and blending into the background. All right. And then you may need to reselect colors as you go so that it makes sense. All right, and that's all there is to it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Follow me on Facebook or subscribe to my newsletters to stay tuned for any future products and tutorials that I put out. Thanks so much.